Hi, it's Alora from Firebird Summit. I'm kind of want to talk about something a little bit different today. I spent the morning at an event here in Miami, specifically around or discussing human trafficking. As you may know, the Super Bowl for 2020 will be here, and January is Awareness Month for the really enormous epidemic we have when it comes to human trafficking. Um, you know, and it was a very interesting conversation, and I want to talk about it specifically because it kind of ties back to some of what I come back to a lot when it comes to finding meaning in your work and finding ways and opportunities to do things that are important to you, but that also give you the opportunity to really do your best. And on one hand, I'm always a little bit of two minds about it because obviously for people to have the opportunity to work in an environment where they are physically safe, they make enough money, they don't have to worry about, day to day or minute to minute kind of stability is a privilege. And it's not something that I think we always are grateful enough when we have access to it. I think some of us do take it for granted, probably more than is necessarily just. But I do think that part of what I saw today is a really impressive reminder for me. There were it was a large group. There was a panel of people that included some survivors who have gone on to found organizations that do a lot of work around advocacy and helping people transition, finding and helping remove them from dangerous environments, and then helping them transition into back into the community and into a life that is past where their background is. And there are so many complexities to the nature of the issue and what causes it and how people find themselves trapped in that kind of scenario that I can't even begin to tackle that, nor do I really want to here. But what is really sticking with me after spending the morning surrounded by people who are telling some truly harrowing first person accounts of their experiences is that, there are a lot of different ways that you can define and measure meaning. And you know what? Your day to day job might not include it. And your day to day, way that you make a paycheck and that you take care of your family and yourself might not mean anything to you on any kind of deeper level. But there are so many places and so many ways that can come into your life if you look and if you find it. And for those of us who are privileged enough to have the security, both financial as well as physical and emotional, that we need to be able to find things that we care about, whether it's this specific issue or something else, is a privilege. And it is something that I try not to take for granted, and I try to always be aware of the extent to which I've been very fortunate in my life. But I think the thing that I left today with, aside from a somewhat heavy heart over some of the really horrible stories that we heard, was that there are people in there who went through harrowing, terrible personal experiences, and there are people there like me who did not ever have to face that personally, but who want to find a way to participate in solving a really complicated problem. And what I saw there was a lot of people finding meaning in different aspects of it. There were educators and community activists and, business leaders and law enforcement and social work and the U.S. Attorney's Office. I mean, and the Super Bowl organizing committee was represented there. And so there were so many people coming from all walks of life, and all of them felt very, very strongly that tackling this problem from their angle was their best ability to help contribute to a complicated solution. And what I loved about it was that the everybody came to it with a different strength. Everybody came to it from a different background. You had clinicians and you had teachers. You did have victims who had escaped and started nonprofits. And it was a really fantastic example of how an individual's experience will take them down whatever road, but when they find something that matters to them and when they find something that they can really dig into, they'll come at it from their own unique experience. And while that's a big issue, I see this on smaller, day-to-day scenarios as well. And I think it's really a valuable reminder. And because that's all I can think of at the moment after spending the morning surrounded by these people doing so much work across such completely disenfranchised and really marginalized groups, I wanted to kind of come back to that today because it's just one of many huge issues. And it doesn't matter if your focus is something like this, or if it's environmental, or if it's legal or social justice in other ways, or not that at all. But whatever it is, like the aspect that all big problems have a community of people who need to participate to help resolve them is, I think, super evident in a scenario like this. And more than anything else, when I look at it, I saw a room of a few hundred people who would all come together from completely different walks of life, completely different religions and backgrounds and ethnicities and experiences and professions, bringing their unique capabilities to something that they felt was important. For some of them, it is their full-time job. And for others, like me, it was a Wednesday morning in a community event. So, finding meaning can mean all kinds of things. And maybe you don't get to have a meaningful experience at work every single day. But that doesn't mean you can't find it someplace else. So nothing I know of makes you feel more connected to other people and more valuable than doing something that you really feel strongly is meaningful. So if you're missing that at work and you don't think it's something you can find there, that doesn't mean it's not important, and it doesn't mean that you don't have other ways to find it. So I strongly encourage you to take a look, see what else is around, see what else you care about, because I'm probably pretty sure you can find other people who care about it as well and who can connect with you about it, and possibly even connect you with a community of people that you can get connected to about it. In any event, that's it for today. Have a wonderful week. I will talk to you next Wednesday.